It'll come up right there.
And his criticism of Republicans when
that gets a production quality out too when you use it that way.
Then they're gonna be like, okay, excellent connection. Then you're gonna show right there.
Call that out and force that choice between two different visions.
Crazy.
Okay.
It is, man. Look, that's game changing, especially in terms of product quality.
Man.
When you run it through the software, you can get it up the way you need it to be. Man, that's it. And you can have the music in it.
Man, it's everything. Oh, sometimes I just don't even want no music because I sit here.
No, it's just the fact that you can blend it in.
Yeah.
You know, it match your vocal levels with, you know, what you're doing in the barbershop and talking and stuff, but you still got the vibe. It's just the fact that you can.
I'm actually pretty lost with my payroll taxes.
Intuit QuickBooks helps you manage your payroll taxes.
Right here, just
100%
chop it
accurate
up.
payroll tax calculations.
I've been talking about. So what I do is,
It's a good choice all around. Like
wherever the discussion, I can go back and re-describe the discussion in the video. I just record it, I go back later, edit it, hashtag it, things like that.
Early stages.
Because
it's for people 45
you know what I learned, man, in 2022? I gotta be very, don't be codependent on a lot of things that you want to happen. And I'm like, man, since being a barber, I had to figure a lot of things out. I had to figure out like different ways to execute. So why I'm gonna stop learning that or other things? I don't know nothing about softwares, know what to do. But you know one thing I'm very diligent about figuring it out. No excuse, man. Figure it out. That's what I'm doing.
I wonder if that's how what you call it, you shooting his shows and stuff too. Because you know, Kevin Hart got a YouTube channel. He got a YouTube show called Cold as Balls. Like he just do little interviews with people. He get to be funny, but he be interviewing different athletes and owners and red and stuff like that. But it's a YouTube show.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like he run it like that. I wonder if like he do set up his stream and do something similar. How do you software? Cause that's what, bro, real talk producers and TV producers and stuff now, they do it new now. They go to YouTube to go find their people. So if you got a following, if you show you can monetize yourself, they coming for it. It just makes sense to do. It makes the job easy. Yeah. It just makes the job so easy for them.
So I got going on.
This Uber Eats later.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to, man. The car, I had to get a new alternator for the car. Threw me off, so I got to catch back up. It's straight, though. But yeah, I'm gonna get out there. When it's cold like this, most people don't leave the house anyway.
Perfect time, man.
It should pick up. It should pick up nicely.
Selling a home is expensive and stressful. So we set out to create a better home.
Uber Eats.
A network of the most successful real estate in America.
When I started over there at the other school, at the least, I've been there a week, man. It's crazy.
So you gonna do one day or how often you do it?
What?
Uber Eats.
I do like, I usually wait till the weekends. Cause I do the more. Like that's when most people like watching the game or doing stuff like that. So more people order in. Over the weekend, I can get for like $100, $150 in like 4 hours. It's nothing. Like I can pretty much do that on those days. I only do it during the week if I got like a bunch of extra time.
Okay.
But yeah, that way I'm still not overdoing this, and I still wind up getting like my best. I done got like $20 an hour doing it. So that's, it's decent. Especially as a supplemental income, you feel me? So So yeah, I'm just mad that the car went down during a super busy weekend. People were doing $30 an hour out there on the Uber Eats, bro.
Oh wow.
We can go dead serious, bro. I think man, making like $32 an hour. And my car was down. I was like, damn it.
Trump and the Trump organization falsely
But
and
these days,
fraudulently
yeah, I'm getting prepared for that though. I'm about to get another whip. So.
institutions for economic benefit.
Cars are expensive now, man. We use cars, man.
Yeah, but especially during this time. You gotta get out of April. When you get past April, you get it out.
What do you think about copping?
Huh?
You getting a car or SUV?
I think like small SUV.
It is my experience that Mr. Trump
So I can move the new stuff. I need the utility a lot.
and deflated his assets to reduce his real estate taxes.
But I still don't want two bigger ones. I want to keep gas mileage cool.
Yeah. Cause Uber Eats, they don't really cover your gas, right?
They cover your tolls though. Like let's say something takes you on the toll road. Once you finish it, it'll reimburse the toll. It's on the thing. It'll say reimburse for the toll. But you can write off. You write off your gas and stuff and your mileage. On the site they track the mileage, so that's how you kind of get that back. What I do though, like I try to set a goal. Like if I got like $100 night goal I got, I would shoot for at least 125 so I can recoup the gas that I use that day. So I just that's like my labor cost. That's how I treat it.
He's going to say that to more people are going to believe it. But I too read that article by Ed Pilkington of The Guardian. And I have to say, I implore all of your watchers and all of those that will ultimately see this on Twitter and other forms of social media
You hanging, boy. You hanging good now, man.
I was saying, wait till he retwist.
3 examples that are so in your face obnoxious. For example, he bought this
It all
property
started a week ago.
No,
No, that
he
ain't.
bought it for $12.6 million. But by 20
All started a week ago.
that the personal financial statement we started to give out because
It seems like
that's
you
when
gotta
Donald
keep things
really
overnight,
started
man.
to want to increase his net
Yeah,
worth
for
for
real.
Forbes and so on.
You can't get him
valued the
to,
property at
cut it down.
$161
Oh,
million.
no.
That's 13 times.
benefits
But
of-
then it gets even better, right? Obnoxious Donald goes
Man,
ahead
he
in
just get up and go.
2014. He then
For real.
changes the number, and again, we needed to increase because he went from 4 billion
How
to
about
6,
simple,
he got
right?
worth more than 10 to $436 million. Right? I mean, that's an amazing return on your investment from 4.6 to $436 million in a period of 8 years. But he did the
My hair
same
take
thing
a
in
while,
Seven
a lot,
Springs. That was a property
Huh?
in Westchester.
My hair real
that he purchased
straight,
for
it'll take a lot- it'll take longer than
the
a
same
lot.
time in
This sucks,
2014 when we were looking to
Oh,
show
oh,
how
yeah.
the number became.
And you don't start getting hanged and like take it off until the lock. That's when you really see it start picking up on the growth.
You know, he hangs so much. His new growth don't even
his
matter.
primary residence, which he referred to as Versailles in the sky.
Don't even matter no
He
more.
turned around and he claimed that the value of his property was, this is an apartment, mind you, $327 million. And he valued it at $10,900 per square foot, which of course would mean that the apartment is 30,000 square feet. In fact, as Ed points out in the article, it is not 30,000 square feet. It's 11,000 square feet. And not only is he the developer, not only does he reside in it, but his
That's
name is
still
on
big,
the
though.
building.
That's
So it
good.
just goes to show you how corrupt his mind is when you have somebody that won't even tell you how big their apartment is and literally, expands it just in his head by 3 times.
I'm almost at a loss for words, which is pretty rare as I'm looking to. I mean, 13 times, 20 times, the value, it's extraordinary in these really small periods of time
invested
as
in
well.
anything?
Didn't Donald once say that? Didn't Donald
I've
once
been,
say
taking
that he
the
knows
L
real
in
estate?
my
He's the best real estate
I heard, yeah, right
purchaser
now
in
with the market
planet.
being where it
And
is,
true,
like,
if of course you make up your own valuations
since
on
quarantine
your
or
properties,
whatever,
of course.
it's like it's a different beast out there. I've been hearing a lot of
When it
people
comes to
take
Tish
it.
James, though, she could only
Yes,
bring
man.
so much. Right?
My only stock that's really good, I got this one oil stock that I put in. I sold half and kept half. The half I kept is now up to $104 per share. And I jumped in on it back at like $20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I originally saw it, I was looking at the 5-year numbers.
Yeah.
Because COVID, quarantine, you couldn't tell around the numbers what was going on. And the most that stock has ever been was like $450 per share. So I was like, shit, if I could just get it to get to 200, that's how I was thinking. Because it's been there, price go back, price does come back.
Now, you have to remember that Donald and his dollars are synonymous. His only self-worth to himself, of course, is how much he claims to be worth. Now, I also want to remind you that the Attorney General's office is working in tandem with the District Attorney's office, with Alvin Bragg's office now, and correct again, that Cy Vance retired. So they are picking up that aspect. But what makes this case unusual is they are working together. So while Cy Vance's case is criminal, and you have Tish James's case is civil, they are working together, and so the result in one will ultimately be the result in another. So he fears both equally.
Okay. When it comes to the chances of getting testimony, as we've heard, there's testimony in these cases they want to get from Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka, Eric
Who you rocking with for playoffs?
The 1-6 committee has also requested momentarily to
man, right now I'm trying to figure out who's gonna get off.
the 1-6 day of the insurrection.
What you mean?
I play fantasy. I'm all about fantasy. I don't even care about who win or lose.
My dog wouldn't tell anything.
Hey, I'm trying to say, man, who gonna get off, man? Who you think gonna get off today?
I know Gabe.
First of all, who you think gonna win?
The whole day?
You think Tampa gonna win today? Tomorrow?
I think they're gonna win tomorrow, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why you think they're gonna win? Just because of Brady or because of...
the Fifth Amendment?
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, they pretty banged up.
Huh?
it's
Tampa pretty
problematic for
banged up.
Ivanka.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, I think for when it comes from a defensive standpoint, they tend to be a little more consistent than the
And so, could you
And I don't know
imagine
too much
if in
on the other
fact
side.
that Merrick
That's pretty
Garland
much it.
finally takes off the gloves and when she, is
Brady,
in the
although I do
chair
think it's
of
funny
the
that
subpoena, they go ahead
the
and
Kraft
they
dude
indict her.
hit Belichick up like, hey,
Very different
I need you to
Ivanka,
get one without
because
breaking it.
very much like her
Or
father,
else
Ivanka
I
is
need to
interested
see you
in
get one
only
without.
Ivanka.
Really?
But now,
So then if
who I like the Bills, honestly though.
What kind
Bills
of
will win it all?
access would that give them
Like I
to
think
the
they got
information
good
trying to
contention
get
to
that
them, man. Them boys been lights out.
Yeah, they might work out,
Would you
man.
cooperate to shield his daughter
Buffalo
from
been,
any potential legal troubles?
Gabe Davis did his contract renegotiated
There
something.
was the district attorney's case
Who?
here in
Gabe Davis getting out,
Soho,
bro.
where it was either Don or Ivanka
Receiver?
were in very big trouble as a result of
Getting
lying
out.
about the number of units that had been sold. And Donald
Talking about
said it to
final
me.
fantasy.
I
I don't know how many points he gets
directly
if you check him
to
out.
me. You know, if one or the other have to go to prison, make sure that it's Don.
And what you call it had a dope comeback year for the Chiefs. What's the corner name?
Idea in terms of how he thinks,
shoot,
but
it's on my
Donald
head.
cares only about.
But yeah, he came back
and
on
he care about his children.
knee
So
injury.
you
I
can
think a
rest
year ago or
assured
whatever.
that if that ever came to fruition,
My guy
that
defense
he'll be
player
the
of the year at least twice this, or defensive player of the game at least twice this year already.
Or for Alan Weisselberg, or now Alan Garten that's being brought
Let
into
me get his name,
everything.
hold on.
So, all of these people have to turn around and look to see what happened to me. Look how fast he threw me under the bus. They're equally disposable.
Explanation there to the question, not answer. Okay, last question. Now, I do want to get your update on your lawsuit claiming First Amendment rights were violated when you were remanded to prison. You and I spoke about this a few weeks ago. We together revisited that July 2020 letter. It was co-authored by two representatives in Congress, Jeffries and Blue. They demanded an investigation at that time. Where's that stand now? Anything new?
So
My
let's
heels,
just separate
that's
that out. As far as my lawsuit against the
Going to
United
get
States
out
government,
incest,
Trump, Bill Barr, and so
forced
we've now
fumbles,
served
strips.
quite a few people in that, including Trump.
He found a way to be on the
We,
hip bar,
obviously
man.
served Bill Barr, as well as Michael Carbajal, who now has resigned from the Bureau of Prisons. As
Yeah,
well
that
as,
or what they already doing on the other side of the ball. They gonna. I think they got a good shot to get to the bowl. But I don't know about
the
winning.
government has 60 days within which to answer.
the
So
Chiefs.
we're waiting for that, and of course,
they
I'll
play
keep everybody
Buffalo.
updated.
I know.
Once that
God
is,
said they got to check. I don't know
sure it's
about
gonna be a
winning.
doozy. But the Ted Lieu, Hakeem Jeffries letter, so far,
wouldn't mind seeing
since you
somebody
put it
new.
to the forefront, it's been
The Bills been close though. The last couple of years they've been close.
They been fighting, man.
That matter.
They've been
The fact
close.
that it was okay for a president with his corrupt attorney general to weaponize the Justice Department.
Oh, no,
to go
Dallas
after
gonna ever
a
beat you
U.S.
back.
citizen because they didn't want me to
Yeah,
publish the
yeah,
book that's loyal or to talk to
I put
social
money on
media
that.
or to have any
That
social media
didn't come through
presence.
for me, man.
That's illegal. And the fact is that we should all, it's not just about Michael.
Man, he
When
flopped
the
on
money on the
the
line, I ain't never see. I don't really see that come step up though. When the money on the line.
Man, that was good. I'm like, you at home, man.
So it is imperative.
I'm like,
that
yo.
whether it's
I said, man, I gotta pay some debt.
It's imperative that
you
they
know.
continue. Now I've spoken to
I
several
put him on my
other
fantasy,
members,
man.
and I
Flop.
can tell you that they're pushing
Flop.
for it also. But somewhere along the line,
Cool,
the
though.
Justice Department just has not released any information
This week.
even to them. And I find
He
it
ain't
to be
there, so I don't have to
saddening,
pick him.
And I find it to be wrong.
I'm very glad that you got
That's the only reason for not
Keep us
picking
updated on what's
Hey,
happening.
that's good. He
We'll do
ain't
our best
there.
here on this end as well. Thank you, my friend Michael Cohn. Good to see
I
you.
ain't want him to be there and they win and he flopped on me and they won. I've been still be mad because you know me, man. I'm like, yo, you didn't get off. You don't need to be there, man.
How about sushi?
I just had sushi.
You don't need to be there, man.
Indian?
Maybe.
Go on somewhere
How about
else, man.
seafood?
Go on, relax,
You know I
man.
don't like seafood.
Enjoy that good payday you had this year. I'm trying to get a good
How about
payday.
tacos?
Mess me up, man.
Tacos.
Automatic emergency braking, one of 6 advanced safety features standard on every 2022 Chevy Equinox. Find new technology,
China.
find new roads. Chevrolet.
Every new day offers opportunities to connect with promotional products that motivate, inspire, and express well-deserved thank yous. Meaningful moments start at 4imprint.com. 4imprint, for certain.
Last year, more homes canceled
So
cable
this week,
than ever before. Why?
I don't care
It's
who winning.
just too expensive.
I'm trying to figure out which quarterback gonna have the big day, man.
Fubo TV and watch the live sports
Is it going to be Matthew Stafford on that Bucks secondary with Odell getting off?
So we set out to create a better home selling experience with a network of the most successful
Odell came to play last weekend now.
We'll sell your home for as little as a 2%.
I know Cleveland got to be sick right now.
Cleveland ain't sick.
$12,000 in commission.
They were so stress-free.
They ain't sick about Odell because it didn't even
Process
matter.
is amazing, and I would definitely recommend them.
If Odell was there, they ain't gonna do nothing.
Topical agents that'll get
They
you
sick because they got Baker throwing at the hand.
Yeah, but he got a lot of his people got a lot of backlash talking against that, talking
I get it. That's the privilege. Some people got certain privileges that man, appreciate you. You know, some people got certain privileges. You know,
Big fan. Here's to being
but
tired all day and up at night. Said no woman ever. Estrogen relieves major
I always try
menopause
to put
symptoms.
the other person as if at the end of the day,
Let's get out
man,
of the
who's
latest
the most
coronavirus
important player on
developments.
the
The U.S.
field?
now passing 70
Whoever got the ham in
cases
the
since the
ham
start
the
of
whole
pandemic.
time.
Nearly 900,000 of those
Whoever
cases
got that
were
ham
just the last 24 hours.
in their
And
hand.
starting today, travelers entering the
Everybody
U.S.
else
by land
cool.
or ferry
That's
are
all about
required
that.
to be fully vaccinated. DHS says this new policy applies
Whoever
to
hiked the
all
ball,
non-U.S. citizens
whoever gives it to
at
that
the U.S.,
quarterback.
Mexico, and Canadian borders. And a federal judge in Texas dealt another blow to the
You
Biden
told me that's that
administration.
one time,
The judge
boy.
is
Oh,
the White House
oh,
from
oh.
enforcing an executive order
You already get
requiring
ready for the
federal
trade,
employees
bro.
to be vaccinated
Certain stuff
against
you,
COVID.
but it's funny too. You don't really see that in the pros too. You right about that.
Yeah, bro. Hey, man, your center is important, bro.
Team in Northern California is looking at how treatment plans
Yeah,
could help
that
communities
right there,
across the
they
country
do get
manage
paid.
the
That
rising cases.
and whoever that offside tackle is.
Wastewater treatment plant
Yeah,
in San
man.
Jose.
That left tackle.
Very interesting. Tell us about this
Man,
data,
listen,
Scott,
man.
that the scientists are collecting and how they want to use it.
Man, one thing in football,
Yeah, Alex, this
most
is the
important thing
San
you have to
Jose
be
Santa
first.
Clara Regional
control
Wastewater
the
Treatment
line.
Facility.
If you don't
It
control
serves
that line of
about
scrimmage,
1.5
if you
million
ain't in
residents
control of that,
in
man,
8
you
cities.
gonna have a long night.
In there is
You ain't
exactly
wrong
what
about
you
that,
think it
man.
is.
No, I don't care
And
how
don't
good
worry,
your
this is
weapons
not
are
quite as
or
bad as
your
you might
talent.
imagine.
You can't
This is
control that
becoming
off
a very
that line of
important
scrimmage.
tool in tracking
Yeah.
the coronavirus.
You getting
They are
manhandled?
doing this in 12 cities,
and they are
Man, it'll be a
finding
long
that
night,
it
player.
foretold the Omicron surge, and it
You
is
running down the
continuing
field. What
to give
happened?
them real-time data. It's not
No,
the
you
first
ain't
time
wrong
Running
about
back,
that.
get the ball right when you get the ball. They there. What
space
happened?
water to track
Man.
pathogens. They do this with polio
You
around
got
the world all
broken,
the time.
man.
It's believed to be
That's
the
why
first time they've used
offensive
it
line,
for
defensive line,
Yeah, you got
throwing
to.
first
They
thing
say
get
that this
recruited every
could now
time.
be part
You
of
got
the
to.
public health
That's like,
toolbox.
that's everything.
Child control. That's why I like having Gus. I don't know how good he is at like calling plays, but from a recruiting standpoint, the boys be loving him, bro. We just snatched up half of Auburn team.
You don't have to take a test or go anywhere or do anything or even know that you're sick.
Got
To be
Plumlee
a
out
part
of
the
Ole
sample,
Miss, but like
it means
that
we can have
matter.
that data very
Yeah.
quickly, and so we have that information before we have
To
information.
the point of what you said, whoever got that ham, like that's how he set it up.
So here's what it's looking
Yeah,
like.
they're recruiting, man.
If you look at just the last few days here in San Jose, you can see that they do
One
believe
thing I
they've
didn't
turned a
know about
corner
football.
for
I know the
Omicron,
basics.
and this actually is coming
You
ahead
throw that
of
line,
the data
boy,
from
you
the
got an
state,
easy
which
night.
is showing that cases are only starting to level off. So that's potentially a good sign
already-
in terms of
you already at the second
reaching a
level?
turning point with this surge. And we'll see how it goes. Again, it's 12 cities in California. It's being done in other places around the country as well. And something that they think now could be a very valuable tool as we continue to track this pandemic.
Very interesting stuff.
I wonder what Cristobal gonna do down in Miami. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in the fall.
Oh, it's kind of cold outside. You want to keep it a little longer? Or what you think?
Nah, keep it down.
Where to begin?
Keep it down.
We'll figure it out. We'll have it for you next.
I gotta have my game up even more over here because of the vibe of the school and the personality of the school. They all be on that
Oh,
shit.
yeah. How's your job going, man?
It's been straight, man. Like pretty much all my suggestions go straight to the board. Like she give me a lot to say so. I just gotta grow. If I can grow it, that's mine. And what she trying to do, cause she talked to me straight. Like her dude, want her to be home, like they want to have kids and stuff. So she want to be more like how Neil is, like just overarching. But she trying to step away from the day to day. And that's opportunity. So I was just like, shit. I was thinking, I can mess around and run the whole thing. Run the whole thing. Get that on the rail, it's a wrap. That's a bit of it like a bit in. And it's crazy because I be getting a lot of Cortiva leads. Like I got like 2 of them that came in, and both of them dropped Cortiva. One of them I got the application from right up front there, and they make them pay right there. They don't do like the other ones because they don't do financial aid.
Oh, okay.
Then I found out that accreditation only matter for money. It don't mean that the school credentials ain't up to snuff because that's your license number. Every school.
Yeah, accreditation just for.
It's just that's it. But the way they market it and they talk about it to the masses, they think they have to do with the school credentials, like whether or not a school got quality education. Like that's the way it's always been pushed. Even when I was doing online education, bro, it was on the same thing. That people, the first thing they're like, you accredited because I don't want to go here, and the diploma isn't worth anything, the degree isn't worth papers and printing on. Like that's the licensing part. So I learned that. I was like, oh, once people understand that, it's different. So if you got the bread to invest in yourself, it's a better way to go because they give a whole bunch of they teach them a lot for the $300.
Also, it's cheaper than the loan.
It is. That's true. Because financial aid make them raise up the tuition price. You're right about
It has
that.
to be a certain amount for financial aid.
So do. Yeah. So
You
you
pay out of pocket at a school that doesn't take financial aid.
plus they got other credit options now and stuff that they ain't have back in the day. So you can mess around and set that junk up through PayPal. And they have like suspended payment options and stuff like that. It's practically the same thing without them overarching like the control. Venmo, all of that stuff. Like they be having them terms that you can do some things with them.
Jermaine will shine the light on the Black experience in America like no one else. And fans of the podcast are taking notice. saying it's a show that covers areas of concern for blackness you don't get anywhere else. And Tremaine Lee elevates his
But like
subjects in a way that
in
is
school, like from what I be hearing, schools worth their snuff. If they don't have to have a Title IV funded, they won't do it. It's less headache too. Cause you gotta get all this compliance. You gotta spend all this money in compliance, and
Also,
you gotta do way more.
Also, they come check your paperwork.
Yeah.
So you and your accredited. NACA's got to come down and look at your books.
Yeah. Shoot, ACCSC come down and look. All of them do.
Yeah.
But when it's licensing, I tell you, they gotta turn. You gotta turn something in, but they don't do it like accreditation.
Now when you get that money, now when you got federal money, they make sure they oversee.
Joining now, Hugo Lowell, congressional reporter for The Guardian. You're in your usual spot because there's always something to talk about. What more do we know, as I said, thanks for joining us, what more do we know about this draft executive order, Hugo?
Yeah, so it's a really significant document, and I think it's one of these documents that we shouldn't downplay, even though it was never signed by the former president. And the reason for that is because it shows where the mindset of the White House and where the mindset of Donald Trump was immediately after the election. And it was around this time, immediately after the election, that Trump started to lay what appears to be the seeds of what would eventually turn into the Capitol attack and his political element. Necessary reasons in order to complete her work. And so my sources in the Trump world think that this was very much a product of Mike Flynn and Sidney Powell, who were in the Oval Office in the weeks after the elections. I think this is an interesting point, and you can see how things are all coming together.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, it's important to make the point that Donald Trump didn't sign it, but it is definitely a gauge of the mindset of everybody around him who was doing his bidding, right? So then we have this, which is just one of the documents from the National Archive. Have you learned anything yet, Hugo, about what's in the hundreds of other documents that the committee is receiving now? Is there any indication these documents might become public at some point?
They will definitely become public at some point. I think when is the key issue. So when the Supreme Court handed that,
You got for like what, 2 weeks?
From what?
Before you started your position.
No, bro, I went straight in. My last day at Cortiva was last Saturday, and I just started this past Monday.
Did they have brand new?
Who? Oh, yes, they did. That last week.
Yo, why you be acting brand new, bro?
Bro, my whole thing is it ain't like I ain't getting an opportunity because I told Tess to them, I was like, I'm comfortable where I at or where I'm at because I'm stable. I got influence. If I'm leaving for upper movement. That's it. And she had it, and then I gave them the opportunity to counter, and they didn't want to counter. So I was like, all right, deuces.
But I'm just saying, why? I mean, it's funny, it's like brand new. It's not like
Micromanaging hell. All now you got all these emails, checking my call times, and all this shit that you did the whole time. You're like, man. Okay. Now you want to act like that. I still got more Rollins than the other motherfucker dude.
You did the job all the way to the door.
Hell yeah. He was just mad. I didn't focus on the calls as much the last because I already know I wasn't going to be there to talk to him. But what I did was any students that was coming in that I already talked, like all the ones I already interviewed.
Something the other way.
No, I picked them up. I tried to get as many of them in as I could. So that I'm still being productive. I'm still doing that. And then like with the registrar stuff, I made sure their paperwork was good so we can retain them. So I just
did they know they was leaving?
Who?
The students.
I told after the last week I was telling the ones I fucked with, yeah. I wanted to hear it from my mouth. But it was crazy though because I saw some students that was over there on a lease books too, like there's a lead for them. It's crazy. But yeah, they got a new building that they got over there off of 434 by Reagan. They got the State Farm. This State Farm building It's a facility behind that, and then she got half of the State Farm building or whatever. She owned it, like she bought that shit. So yeah, now she can go like the school like 45 to 50 students. Like, but the goal is to get it to 80. And at that point, like she can start expanding and hire more. You know. So with the building that she got, she can house that. Like we could probably get to 85 to 100. So that's my goal. I'm trying to get do her little training and stuff now, so I can get on the phone and beat them up.
Meantime, two controversial bills in Florida could dramatically alter what is allowed to be taught in the classroom.
At the end of the day, people always looking for where they can grow. There ain't no growth, man. It's hard to stay motivated.
Yep. Exactly. And she already set me up to take the keys, but I just gotta show her I can do it. Yeah. And that ain't shit, cause I'm already proven there.
Serious allergic reactions like Tremfya increase your risk of infections and
Then I can hire a couple people under me.
Emerge Tremfya with Tremfya. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. When our daughter and the kids moved in, we bought a detergent cleaning water. So we switched back to Tide. One wash, stains are gone.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. It's gotta be Tide.
Don't praise them, Liz. Now I'll take a good go. First of all, you're an expectations, then you have yeast issues. Soft and observer. Ace joint protection post spray anywhere where truck lets you in. Only with Ace. Find yourself. Sour.
Good choice. It is. So is screening for colon cancer. When caught in early stages, it's more treatable.
Hey, call it.
I have amazing that we can help you get in your school on 92% of colon cancer. Even in early stages. Early stages? It's for people 45 plus and have risk for colon cancer. Not high risk. False positive and other results may occur. Ask your provider if colon cancer is right for you.
We've been talking about climate change as a future problem instead of a present one.
The reality is the humanitarian crisis is going to spill over.
Because yes, marches and protests can spark change, but so can money. Racism is not good for business, and that's been proven time and time again.
Another controversial new bill moving forward in Florida, the so-called Individual Freedom Act, which was pushed by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, prohibits schools and private businesses from teaching anything that would make an individual feel discomfort or guilt when employees or students are taught about discrimination in our nation's history.
Yeah.
Mentioned explicitly in the bill.
I think that's funny.
Teaching of critical race theory, although there's no evidence even is being taught in K-12 classrooms. The bill, which was advanced this week by the state Senate Education Committee, says an individual, by virtue of his or her race or sex, does not bear responsibility for actions committed in the past by other members of the same race or sex. An individual should not be feel discomfort, guilt.
What, the critical race theory? Or the fact that they blocking people learning about it? It ain't no different. The winner always controls history. That's what they trying to prove. But they trying to stop that because they don't want to feel accountable. They don't want to be accountable. So you stop people from learning history, you ain't gotta be accountable. That's pretty much what it is. You don't have to do your own research now. You don't really have to teach your. That's why you teach your kids outside of school. That way they not what they learn and control.
At the end of the day, they're going to backfire because I think this is a win for the parents to be more aware. Like, oh, this is what they're doing. Well, let me go ahead and
But you gotta act on it.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing.
The Republican announced this proposed legislation last month. Let's take a listen to what he said. Here it is.
I think what you see now with the
You really think they're going to say the bloody thing? How it murder rate
delegitimize our history.
Raping men just for the sake of
it. They gonna really say that? They never said that part. They only say like
you gotta find that out for your own.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, they're only going to give the nice
teach
part.
our kids to hate our country.
They don't want to look because they know that shit's very animalistic and inhumane.
Woo!
And to sit and to have to take accountability and own that, they can't do it because then it's gonna be a global thing. Everybody sees you like that. They ain't gonna never admit that.
Critical race theory is not taught in our classrooms. And let's just throw all the cards out on the table.
I just think it's funny that it's coming from such a high level of politics, like it's coming from the governor's office to push it down. So I think that's kind of desperate.
Because the former president can make this
Yeah. That you literally gonna censor education, but you letting other stuff get in and be taught.
But history is being taught, so no history at all should be
our
taught.
children how to love their country.
History, period. Teach them critical thinking. They only had history class. What's in your history class for them?
Let me ask you to respond to an argument.
All history is off. If some history is off limits, you don't need history period, right?
No, I agree.
Why does history class exist then?
The teacher, Alex, the truth be told, parents already have a say in their child's education.
I could say the history y'all teach is making me uncomfortable.
Education and engaged in their
The history you
education.
teach
And so
don't look
they
like
don't
me.
get an argument out of me from that. But what Republicans can't
It's
do
always
is speak
two
to those
sides to
parents and say that this is the concern of parents because it didn't become an issue until they made it an issue.
Senator, can you and your fellow Democrats do anything to stop this?
The one thing that we can do is A, we can continue to galvanize the people, but B, it is total violation of our First Amendment rights. So I can tell you this, whenever the government puts the pen to paper to sign this legislation, I can guarantee you there will be a lawsuit against the state of Florida on this.
Okay. Florida Democratic Senator Chauvin Jones, it's awfully good to see you again. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll have more to talk about, no doubt, there from Florida. Meantime, I want to note a couple of results from a newly released poll on race for you. 75% in the University of Massachusetts poll said they believe public schools should teach about racial inequality. Again, 75% there. 64% agree that public middle or high schools should also teach that white people have a responsibility to try to address existing racial inequality.
Once that conversation open, though, it's open.
You started it, man. People ain't even thinking about it until you try to do something about it.
For real.
You don't even know what you did, man. Because a lot of younger people have more of a diverse friendship.
Yeah,
They're like, what? Why would they do that to them? You know, it backfire like that.
Then fit it with a stainless steel induction plate and coat it 3 times with our durable non-stick finish. That's so good, no butter or oil is needed. Plus, Stackmaster is 100% dishwasher safe and PFOA free. Call or go online now and get the complete Stackmaster 10-piece set for just 4 easy payments of $39.99. As a bonus, we'll include our self-training the recipe guide and our grading stove full for just 4 easy payments of $39.99. Plus, we'll have your entire order free. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-957-2579. That's 1-800-957-2579 or order online at mystackmaster.com.
Don't settle for products that give you a sort of white smile. Try Crest Whitening Holidays. 100% whiter teeth with highly active peroxide droplets. Swipe on in seconds. Better, faster, 100% whiter teeth. Shop CrestWhiteSmile.com.
Welcome to the McLaren Formula One Q&A. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Zach. Can we meet Lando?
Can we bring Lando on stage?
Hi everyone, it's Lando.
It's Lando.
Lando, who has the best fans? England, Germany, or France?
I don't know, what do you guys think?
Let's put up a poll. Come on, England, Germany.
With WebEx, McLaren F1 fans get even closer. Let's go racing. Introducing the WebEx Sweat, driving hybrid work.
Feeling sluggish or weighed down? It could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best. Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil psyllium fiber gels to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. It also helps lower cholesterol and slow sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. So you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil. Support your daily digestive health. And try Metamucil Fiber Thins. A great tasting and easy way to start your day.
No matter how you say it, it's a leading marketplace for learning and teaching online.
That's how they
You and me can always start a new career.
Or just learn something new.
What have you always wanted to learn?
Hunger Root is here, and I needed it because my fridge is super empty.
I'm gonna open the box. That's the exciting part.
Hungry Root came through.
And my refrigerator is packed.
I'm dying back some mighty poisonous. Should get you to a doctor.
Real cattle herd don't need no
You trying to say I gotta lay this secret sauce?
It's okay to ask for help. Find a licensed therapist at BetterHelp.com.
That part.
A very good day to all of you from MSNBC World Headquarters here in New York. Welcome everyone to Alex Witt Reports. Here's what's happening. We've got breaking news we're following out of Arizona. That's where the state's Democratic Party announced it is formally censuring Senator Kyrsten Sinema. Let's go right to my colleague NBC's Vaughn Hilliard, who's following this story for us. So, well, I guess we've just heard something from Senator Sinema's team. I'm told you have a response. What are they saying?
Yeah, we have a response from Senator Sinema's office to our Capitol Hill team here. If we could pull it up, I want to read just part of it here, in which the spokeswoman for Senator Sinema says, in part, during 3 terms in the U.S. House and now in the Senate, Kyrsten has always promised Arizonans she would be an independent voice for the state, not for either political party. She's delivered for Arizonans and has always been honest about where she stands. And if you'll recall, Alex, that 2018 campaign, when she ran for the U.S. Senate, she ran as this sort of Arizona independent, this Western independent, very much in the mold there of John McCain. But the hope among Arizona Democrats was that years of
I can't imagine.
in this announcement, the
Yeah, like,
ADP executive
just a
board
kid,
has decided to
man.
formally
Yeah,
censure
you
Senator
got
Sinema
what
as
all
a result
what
of her
the
failure
news
to do
is talking
whatever it
about.
takes to ensure the
Yeah, I'd be
health of
terrified
our
too.
democracy.
Yeah.
Of course,
They sound real groups in the way.
Yeah, it's like everybody. Man, I'd be terrified now if I catch it right now.
48 Democrats
Cause at the,
to essentially
cause at the end of the day, you never know, man.
these major pieces of federal voting rights legislation. Senator Sinema took to the floor this last week and announced she would not be among them, along with Senator Manchin. I want to let you hear part of a conversation that you had just
their
this last
life
hour
from
with Congressman Roe Conn,
allergic
Democrat
reaction
from
from a lot
California.
of things. If you don't never have news about that, it's not a big
And
story.
you can't uphold the fundamental right to
The
vote
person had to break out from eating something
citizens, regardless of race. Then there's a
they ain't supposed to
problem.
eat. They didn't know it was in the food, you know?
No, that's fair.
Kyrsten Sinema no longer reflects our
They
values.
go beyond. I just terrified for a kid, man.
And now Democrats, so they're floating potential
And you
names
could
to
be like,
challenge
as a
Senator
parent, man,
Sinema
you try
in
to put your kids in the
2024,
most safe
including
situation.
Congressman Ruben
Man.
Gallego, who has not closed the door on potentially a primary
You do
challenge
the best
to
you
Senator
can on the
Sinema.
information you got.
Yeah.
It's years of
And you rely on a lot of
frustration
people
built up to this
to
point, because if you go back
give you
to
the correct
Arizona
information
archives
what's going
12 years
on.
ago, Senator Sinema was on the front lines of the Arizona Democratic Party when she was in the state legislature.
We rely on a lot,
Really one of the most vocal voices on the left.
We rely on the honesty of people in higher powers, man.
Brewer and Joe Arpaio on immigration issues. But
That's
since her
kind of
ascension to
terrifying too,
U.S.
think about
Congress, she really took more of an independent, middle-of-the-road bent here. And that is what has led to this moment and that frustration that local Democrats in Arizona feel like she has missed the opportunity to truly represent the Arizona Democratic Party and the voters who they say helped knock doors and get her into the position to do just that.
Okay, Ron, thank you so much for teeing all that up for us. Appreciate it. Well, for all of you, my colleague Lindsay Reiser will be in for Yazin Basugian today. We'll be talking with Sinema's fellow Arizona Democrat, Congressman Ruben Gallego. That'll be coming your way at 4 Eastern. Also new today, feverish diplomatic efforts behind the scenes to avoid military conflict between Russia and Ukraine as leaders across the globe watch to see what Vladimir Putin will do next. President Biden was huddling with national security advisors at Camp David, and just hours ago, this new video from Ukraine's military showed crates of what it says are lethal military supplies arriving from the United States.
Lethal
Let's go
military
to NBC's
supplies.
Josh Ledman standing by at the White House for us. Josh, another welcome. What do we know about, first of all, the president's talks today with his national security advisors?
Well, Alex, it's fairly unusual for the White House to announce publicly that the president will be holding national security-related meetings on a weekend, particularly when he's out of town, when he's at Camp David. But the White House trying to show that President Biden and his entire team are very engaged in trying to avert some type of a larger conflict in Ukraine, just as the U.S. and Russia are engaged in really a last-ditch attempt to avoid that type of an escalation and try to calm tensions. This after the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, met in Geneva with his Russian counterpart, the Russian Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov. And after that meeting, the Secretary of State said that the U.S. has now agreed to respond in writing to Russia's one-sided draft
so you can come in here on
a security treaty with the U.S.
go live
and NATO,
sometime, man.
which Russia
Come
wants
on in here,
NATO
man.
to commit not to
You
expand
know, drop all these little
Ukraine and
jewels
other
real
countries.
quick.
The U.S. has said that is a non-starter. They are not entertaining that, but they
We
are
talk
willing
about,
at this point to put forward some type of a
the field.
written response.
You
They're
never
calling
know,
it
man.
a
People see the video, man.
non-paper
It's
to
like
suggest
promotion.
This is not, you
No,
know,
that
an
is
outward
true.
treaty. It is simply that
And that's
trying to
exactly what is
show
needed at
that
this
they're
time.
responding
But
to Russia's concerns.
I do feel like I got it. I'm in a better school just from a policy and procedure standpoint. The way she do admissions, she do it based off of the Steiner way when they were owned by Steiner, which had for more accountability and structure. Like for example, like makeup hours, you got to pay for your makeup hours.
You know what? A lot of people do that though.
But it make people keep their attendance up. When you don't when you gotta pay, you'll make sure you're
The
there.
reality is, Alex, the path of
If you do come for makeup, you gonna make sure you learn that
I think
information.
it's like what? It's like something like how much an hour?
It depends on every school. Like ours, I think they charge like $12 a clock hours and stuff like that. But yeah. But it's just the point of you having to pay. Like you gonna make sure you get it done. Like I like that. You gotta like when you enroll in school, like you can't enroll without speaking to the director of the school first. Like they gotta get a feel for you. Like which is more like how state colleges do anyway when they do their
You have to actually submit. You get approved. You just don't just, hey, I want to go to this college.
Exactly. When you force people to show more commitment, well I ain't gonna say force, when you empower people to do it, you know, you tend to get a better student. Like you don't have as much as the
They go through
attendance issues.
approval process too.
Yeah.
You got some schools, they don't care what you do, just come on in.
And it shows when you start having like outbursts and meltdowns and stuff. Like
Character is everything.
exactly. You can't keep a professional environment if you don't have structure.
Or you don't have people that are professional students.
Right. So it's just that it makes it for a much smoother, better quality learning experience. So you ain't got to worry about that.
A few miles away, across freezing fields and drifting snow,
certain schools
thousands of
I've been to
Russian
or
soldiers,
tried to
tanks, and
attend,
missile
that was
systems are waiting for orders.
The forefront problem that I was
The
experiencing
Ukrainian Border Patrol
on both
says
ends,
they
even when I was a
continuously
student
monitor
and
Russian
when I was
movements
an
towards
instructor.
On the face of it, they seem fairly unfazed by the prospect. As we filmed near the fence, a Russian border
I'm
patrol
about to miss my goal. Like,
the two sides
if, like with me taking over, if I get where I want to be, I want to grow that school to 130 students, 140 students. Size-wise for the
That's like nothing to you, man.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, look at them, but the size of the facility. I'm
Only
trying
allow
to pay.
that.
Yeah, it's gonna only allow about the 140, which you can still like be real profitable with that, because now only thing you doing is enrolling for attrition, you know, so things like the occasional cancel or graduation.
Okay.
You know, like you enrolling for that, so when you just enrolling for that, it's easy to hit goals. Number one. Number two, you still making money because you go retention high.
Right.
You know, so you got that. And then number three, you can control your tuition, because now you can be more exclusive. You can be more exclusive.
Yes.
Yeah, you can be exclusive because your shit always full.
Yeah.
You know, so
I'd rather have a lot of small exclusive schools than one big school.
exactly. Now you're talking franchising.
Yes.
But I feel like 140, 150 tops. But that's the magic number. Because from there I can hire 2 people, 2 admissions reps, and let them ride.
Quite what a full-scale invasion would look like isn't known.